All the way.
That's it. When I turn and go back to the other hip, in here, he's still fine.
Yeah.
But his chin's on the 10 spot. When I do this with my elbow, things change. Cool. Stick your elbow. And you take him over the feet. If I'm pinning him, I have on top of him, how much weight do I want to get on top of him if I weigh 200? 200. No.
400.
Good answer. 250, 300, 400 pounds. I mean, you want to get more on it. I can't do it. Okay, I have 200 pounds. I want to, that's 200 pounds on it. Okay? Now, okay, great. Now, if he would give me his right hand and left foot,
sorry, buddy.
and I stand here. Now I hang on to the two here, and I pull up and push down. Is it more than 200 pounds?
Yes, it is.
Okay. If I have a 100-pound weight and I lift it up here, how much weight am my whole body worth? 200 for me, 100 for the weight. 300 pounds. Okay. So however much weight I can pick up, my body gains that weight. When I'm on top of him, in any of your pinning combinations, if you weigh 200 pounds, you want to put 250 or 300 on it. So he thinks, oh shit, you got heavyweights on top. How do you do that? On your half Nelson. When you have your half, you're pulling up. Pull up. If I pull up 10 pounds, I now weigh 210. If I pull up 20 pounds, I now weigh 220. On the other hand, here, look, an elbow. On my elbow. Not my elbow. Okay. Pick, lift. Now I'm picking up 50 pounds worth. That means there's going to be 50 more pounds on me going down into him. I want him to walk off the back of the couch. He weighed in right next to me. It's the same thing I do. You're heavyweight on top. Couldn't move. All right, so when you get on top in any position, guard, otherwise, okay, you want to create more weight. You want to make him feel like you weigh more than you actually do.
You can still lever the foot down here.
Oh, yeah.
But the hopper was, you got it.
It's when she's squeezing like
There,
that.
under, you got the grip. Just put it down his hand. Hold his hand away from his shoulder. You
But cross the hand. Man, what is that? Hey, John, can you read that for those people who are illiterate?
That is position 34, bar strangle hold.
Oh, interesting.
If he goes this way, which he will, just back up a little bit and let him show him there's an out. Oh yeah. And just because you pressure off him, he'll turn that way, just turn his head down and go, yep, all right, if he doesn't turn that way, then we'll turn his head the other way. Under, soft, and across, where you come and go. Exactly where that teeth is. Is that where that hand goes? Okay, flip your hips. So lean here, and lean this way. Hang on, once you turn your hip, so you turn his head sideways there, and like we did that drill that you want, I tapped it, get off the vessel. And I do apologize. It's my first time back in the submission. And it just didn't register that you attacked it. I heard the tap, I saw the tap, it just didn't register to let off the
I'm like, why isn't this working?
Because he's not used to submissions.
Help!
Here, no one's, and I apologize. It registered a second too late. Get off the asshole. Little fine face. But anyhow, arm across, and then you put all your weight. All my weight's like this on him. My knees aren't down, I'm not laying on his chest, taking the weight off. As soon as I come across there, then I lean on it. And this hand under here locks. So I'm pulling up with this, which pushes that down. So when I hit this lock, I get to here. Once I start changing my weight, which I'm not going to, I'm picking up here like this, which pushes it down. It doubles. Remember, I weigh 185. Now I'm getting 300 on his jaw. And he's more than willing to go. Okay, so near side, you get the chin twist pick. chin, twist it, get up, chin twist stick, I call it. And that one I saw across his chops and locked him in there. Okay. So, you know, if I miss the arm and he gets to his belly, sometimes they do, I'll come to the front. Right? Just lay the belly. Okay. I come across his throat and I put my hand on his shoulder here. That's what I want. Okay. Round his throat and up on the shoulder. Okay. Now, when I put my hand on the shoulder here, that's fine. I take this elbow and pull it this way, it's not fine. So when I start pulling this way, I didn't pull a piece one. Anyhow, you want to, it's a sneaky one that I've used twice in wrestling, only with people from other countries. This is what I really had to have a takedown. You know, you just pick that elbow up, it's gurgle, what do you call it?
A gag.
Gag, or whatever. You know. So this used to happen. Over here, round and on. You have to have your hand like this. So your arm has to twist a little bit. Then when I pick this arm up.
Hey Wade. Hey Wade. Can I ask you just a quick question? So this is kind of a softball, but is it maybe naive to say that even in wrestling, like say field rules or whatever, where it's illegal to do a choke, that you're going to possibly get choked, maybe like by Dave Schultz, maybe by this gag by Wade if the ref is on the other side, so maybe you should have a clue about chokes and...
Yeah, I mean, international, well, high-end wrestling is sophisticated. I mean, you know, you get past the little step 1, step 2, and you learn the little things that are different, you know, and there are violations of protocol. Basically, if you become violated, then you go, all right, fuck the rules. The rules are changed, fine, you know, and then you play according to the rules, and he just, you know.
So you should probably have a pretty broad bag of tricks.
Yeah, I shot in those Russian. I got it on the single. I got it in a single leg of Russian. They would call it a butt drag, where it would just get a hand on the leg, hip leg. You know, if you sprawl, you go in here, you hook here, you go to the crack in the butt. You know, you're not grabbing anything. You know, you use that to slowly get your leg back and pull yourself back around. That's called a butt drag. You put your hand in the butt. You know, it's like you're climbing Mount Everest looking for a crack to hang on to. Anyhow, the Iranian I was wrestling over there, he took it to a new level. Instead of that, he did that one instead of that one. So, you know, when he went up to the second knuckle, you know, whoa! You know, he's busy. I'm son of a bitch. You know, now my teammates are, you know, because. You know, when I stood up, my singlet was still stuck in. Take your singlet off later, and you go, oh. Don't wash it out, you know. So anyhow, new rules. That was one of the ones I did. I'll show you another one later that I did that, you know, that got his attention as well.
Because high-level wrestlers realize rules are only enforced when the ref sees it.
Yeah, they're pretty good at changing the rules, altering them a little bit. But everyone does it. That doesn't make it right. But, you know, it becomes part of the game. You know, it's, you know, this is rule, then this referee has a rule, and not only do I gotta do this and this and do it better, you do it stronger and work harder and be more talented, you know, all those things going for me. But then I have to know those little things that make the big difference. That wrestling, we are sophisticatedly above the referee. They have no clue we're doing some of this stuff, unless they were ex-wrestlers, which most of them are not. They don't even see it because you get so good at it. But yeah, I'm sure that's the same with, you know, NBA and NFL. You know, the things that go on in the trench and the line. You know, in the NFL, you don't see someone spit in the face. And that's why they have full face masks now. So the saliva hits the plastic instead of your face. I mean, there's all kinds of little gimmicks that might just get you off your game. Even if it doesn't affect you at all, other than mentally. He did that to me. all of a sudden you go, that match is over, I already won. What up at 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock, it's a lot easier. Okay, I pull him onto me, got me my muscles. See this? Straight up. And when you come down, you paper cut it. This hand takes it down, this hand pulls it across. I let go and I'm done with my hands. Down, that one's done. Across, that one's done. Okay. Down, that one's done. Cross, when I pull it across, that one's not done. And I let go. Knee, knee, push.
Hi, my name is Jillian Silver. I train at Brazen Martial Arts in Central New Jersey. I compete probably once a month in grappling tournaments around the country. I've won 2 weight classes for the professional grappling league, both at 120 pounds with a toe hold and 135 pounds with a mounted triangle to armbar. I started training catch with Coach Billy Robinson back in 2013, and then basically we followed him around the country training under him. I miss him very much. He taught me a lot of stuff that's been very helpful to me. In the meantime, unfortunately, Billy passed away recently, and so Jake Shannon brought in Coach Wade Schalles this time around. And we really didn't know how it would go because we missed Billy a lot, and we didn't want to feel like we were cheating on Billy either. But what was really cool about this camp is we focused a lot on pinning and on cradling, which is not stuff that we did with Coach Billy that much. But what was really neat about it is that Coach Schalles gave us all of these great entries into doing all of the awesome submissions that Coach Billy Robinson taught us. And so it was kind of neat because for us, we compete at different grappling tournaments that have different rule sets. There's not always a pin, and people think that without there being a pin in play that catch wrestling is useless. And what I'm finding going against people with traditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu backgrounds is that the pins and the cradles and putting them in uncomfortable positions that they're not familiar with has actually been a huge advantage for me to just get to a submission, because if you control your opponent, you can submit your opponent. And we learned that we have to worry about the position, the transition, and the submission. And in this case, the cradle or the pin puts us in a good spot to get to where we need to go. And so it was actually a really great camp with Coach Wade Schalles this time. He fixed my double leg takedown, which is awesome because I've always had a really shitty one, and now I have a pretty decent one. So I'm looking forward to practicing the stuff that he showed us and to training with him again.
Well, let me ask you a question. So, because you're right. I mean, it was kind of like Billy really so focused on submissions, and we covered submissions like we always do.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to ask the question this way. On the pain scale, right? The doctor comes in and says, how bad is pain, 1 to 10? These pins.
They're pretty bad. It depends on it. I've definitely found that as a female, being flexible was a huge advantage. I watched the men looking like they were about to cry, and being able to do a full split and things like that was definitely helpful. It was kind of neat because Coach Billy taught us how to put on painful submissions. And Coach Wade taught us how to make it painful from the start of the transition into the position, and then we can end with the painful submission that Billy taught us. So it was just really a nice junction of the 2 different backgrounds into something that's usable not just for catch wrestling, but for submission grappling or mixed martial arts, any place that you want to get on top and dominate.
You're awesome. Thank you, Jillian, so much, and so glad to have you.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
Hey, I'm Ian. I'm what Billy would call a so-called catch wrestler, level 3. My first camp with Wade.
And you do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I do jiu-jitsu.
You're entering a freestyle tournament. You do sambo.
I'm a grappling nerd.
I mean, I can look at your ears and see that you. Yeah. Okay.
I prioritize grappling over looks or life or social life. So yeah.
Well, you're getting married anyway, so you can just go to town. Yeah. All right, and congratulations on that, by the way. So. Like you said, you've come to a number of camps with Billy, and this is your first camp with Wade. You know, and everybody's kind of like, well, you know, Wade. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Everybody's kind of curious. And what I don't think people really grasp is they're looking at wrestling how maybe other people wrestle, and Wade has his own kind of approach. Myself personally, I did this because I think his approach fits in with our approach. Now, we all miss Billy, so let's just humor me, and let's pretend he's the ghost of Billy is watching us and we can't see him. What would do you think Billy would get a thumbs up or a thumbs down in terms of the pain, the the grind, the control, just all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, big thumbs up. I mean, you know, every time we would go out with Billy, we would always be talking about really great freestyle wrestlers, almost as much as he talked about the old-time catch wrestlers. I think that, you know, more of those guys were his contemporaries as athletes, whereas more of the legit catch guys were more mentors to him. So not only did he always talk about Greco and freestyle and folk style, but I think that he saw that it was the same thing, just kind of split the two.
So let me ask you now, as somebody who's felt the pain level, and so you kept coming back because you liked the training in the camp and all that kind of stuff. Scale 1 to 10, how painful are these pins where 10 is a submission?
From Coach Schalles, they're a 10. I mean, some of them, when he was demonstrating on me as Uke, I have to force myself to not tap, just so he could get through the thing. Like I would kind of suck it up, but.
And he's only demonstrating. He's not even really grinding you.
Right. Yeah. You'd have to really be conscious of it and go like, okay, let him finish. Don't tap. Let him mash your face a little bit more. And I mean, yeah, it really painful to the point of submission. Absolutely.
And so now that so obviously, you know, you were doing your jiu-jitsu and mixing in like kind of the freestyle wrestling. You came to camp. You went back, and you know there was the Ian that came into camp and the Ian that left, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'm guessing that's why you keep coming back.
Absolutely, yeah.
What's different about the Ian entering this camp? And trust me, none of your competitors are going to watch this tape. So,
I think that the big difference is, I guess I have, you know, more of a catch wrestling aptitude now. So, I know what the philosophy is. I sort of know that the scientific wrestling way to think. That's really the big part I took away from the first camps with Billy, was the way to kind of put this together like a chess game rather than just going out there and wrestling. I think Coach Schalles, even though it's totally different, I think it's a similar thing where he's showing us moves, but he's showing us moves with the purpose of showing us how to think about other moves. So you go, okay, this looks kind of like this one position that we did. Maybe I can make it happen for you. It's an analytical way of looking at grappling rather than just filling up your encyclopedia with information and then spitting that information back out.
yeah, it seems like a lot of the programs are just trying to randomly throw out a million techniques.
Right.
Whereas we're kind of more aiming at the conceptual, how everything can plug in. You can branch off once you know the common denominator on all these
Well,
things.
I think that a lot of jiu-jitsu training, you know, they'll tell you it's muscle memory, and I feel like this is muscle memory and intellectual memory, just actual memory. Like I feel like that we're training our brains to go, oh, I've seen this position before, or something similar. I can win this position. You know, like a chess game where you look at not your piece or what your piece can do, but the position of the pieces on the board, and you go, okay, this looks familiar. Not exactly familiar, but familiar enough to where I can.
You can work yourself into it.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Well, Ian, again, congratulations and thank you a ton. Okay, so we got Gary and Mickey. Gary and Mickey, along with Jillian, have been coming to camp after camp and have a strong sensibility of kind of the way we do things. And so my real question to you guys, you know, obviously we miss Billy and we're doing our damnedest to keep it going, you know, to honor that, what Billy gave to us. Given that, now that we have all the same stuff from Billy and we're adding in Wade, how would you describe the feeling of being pinned? Because I don't think people understand how Wade pins. They see other wrestling and okay, it's uncomfortable, it's embarrassing. Can pins, after today, you felt it, these guys watching probably haven't felt this yet, can pins be submissions?
Yes, yeah. His pins are very crushing. They, you can tell by the bruises on the nose, they definitely hurt.
Yeah, I actually saw like you got a, like it's almost, I hope it's not broken, but. So, and what about like his Nelsons and stuff?
Yeah, everything, didn't put a lot of power on what he had to do, but it crushed through the whole movement from the beginning till the end, and there's really nothing you can do about it at that point.
Like some of the Nelsons, he'd move like this is how they normally do it, and it's just I'm having like weird flashbacks of Billy, like move 3 inches, and all of a sudden people are tapping from something that was not tapping before.
That's what was awesome. We come from Billy, so you get Billy would be angle, you need to be here, and same thing with Wade. It was the angle, so it was very familiar, but at the same time different. So it complemented each other very, very well.
There was kind of a compliment, yeah, because we're not trying to substitute anything out. Now we've got the world's greatest pinner in history ever in a sport, which is submission and pinning. I mean, that's our thing.
Not forgetting that it's not just the fact that you're pinning somebody, but you're in total control of them too. So let's not forget that part. When you're in total control of somebody's body, you then have a lot more options rather than a non-stop scramble or not knowing how to control somebody. So you understanding the pin and understanding the pressures correctly and your placement of your body and those angles correctly opens up all of those other things that I think a lot of people are missing. It's a big miss. We're big fans of just in general. You should be out training with as many people as possible and learning from as many people as possible. Everybody has something, and they'll take away something. Everybody.
So let me ask you this: given, obviously all of us have been very affected by Billy's passing. I mean, like all of us can hardly even talk about it with a dry eye. But the fact is, it happened, and you guys all know that he would be livid if we didn't continue wrestling and continue trying to do things. So given that we're doing that, given that he's passed, what do you think he would say? Given that he can't come on the mat and he's like gonna haunt us, do you think he'd be happy with what happened?
He'd be absolutely happy. Even at the last camp we had, we talked about that. Just being on the mat and just all of grappling, he loved it all. He put it all together. Of course, catch was his thing, and that's gonna.
But wrestling in general,
But do you think these pins fit in with kind of the way Billy?
His brutal style, yeah, absolutely. You've trained with Billy, understands the team that he gave us in the peak position, and then how Wade took it to the next, just a different position, and just different things that were working. All of it hurts.
It hurts.
All of it hurts for control and an easy finishing.
And what about like moves like, because obviously Eddie Bravo, he's a great competitor, done great things, but he took the wrestler's guillotine, polished it up, rebranded it, introduced it to jiu-jitsu. Well, we kind of started playing a little bit with the spladle today, and a few other cradles and stuff. How long until the cradle starts matriculating out into jiu-jitsu and MMA, do you think?
We actually talked about Eddie Bravo. He did it in his Metamorphosis. He went right to, he passed the guard, he went right to the cradle. So, and he was able to control side control on an 8-degree black belt from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. You gotta take what's right, put it in your game, play with it a little bit. If that tool isn't working for your game, you need to take it out from the side.
Yeah, I'm thinking of calling them crushing cradles, because it is like a submission. Your eye feels like it's going to come out of your head.
But even the spladles, man, nobody knows that stuff.
Right.
The problem is that just the rule set is what makes the things us not able to do the things. Certain tournaments allow pretty much anything. So we'll look at spladles, we'll try them out, we'll test drive them. Right? We're at every tournament. Maybe one day the IBJJF will open their eyes and let us do it. But I said that, yes.
I'll take that bet. I'll bet you. So anyway, guys, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks.
Federal law enforcement instructor, former pro fighter, boxing coach, Krav Maga coach, CrossFit coach.
Okay, so you do defensive tactics, right? You've done pro boxing, you fought MMA, all that kind of stuff, right?
Submission grappling, won a couple of championships. So.
Okay. So let me ask you something. There's Derek, the athlete who came before camp, who obviously you're like, oh, this is something I want to do. And now there's Derek leaving the camp. What's different between the two Dereks? How would you describe that to somebody who has not felt this shit?
Just more tools that I can add, different take on things. I'm big into neck cramps and cross faces and putting them out. I always do that stuff.
Grinding them out.
Yeah, I like to grind people out. And, that might come from my boxing background with getting people rough and tough growing up in the Bronx. So
On a scale of 1 to 10, how rough and tough is this?
this is I give it up there. It's up there. I'd say it's 10. It's 10, but it's cool because it's rough and it's painful, but nobody's trying to hurt each other. You know, because a lot of times you'll go to seminars, you have people and they're going crazy. Like, trying to break off. Here, you learn to move, and yeah, you can cause even more pain. But it's nice and easy. And the thing is, what I notice most people here are older like me, so we're not 22 years old, just ball to the
100 miles an hour, yeah.
You're trying to learn the technique, and then when you roll, then you use it.
Cool. So, probably because, you know, you're boxing and then you start grappling, and you didn't really have, like, wrestling with pinning. But now that you felt pinning the way Wade teaches it, which is different than pretty much everybody else, scale 1 to 10 on the pain scale, how painful are these pins?
10, yeah, that's 10.
I mean, you saw people tapping out, and that's not...
I mean, he got that little cross face on me, on my jaw. I was like, the jaw pain, let me tap before I break it.
Cool. Well, hey, Derek, I really appreciate you coming, and thanks for everything.